Living the life. Oh, what a nice phrase. And you know what? I know most people, when they say living the life, they mean something different than what I do. That's all right. I've been called different all my life. I'm talking about living the life of a real, true, live Christian, a Bible following Christian, what we see in the Bible. And I've had so many people tell me that I'm different, Christians and non-Christians, and they always come back to the same thing, that I live my life by a different set of rules. Now, that's not exactly true. But then again, it sort of is. It's the same rules as all other Christians live by, more or less. The difference is probably in how I apply them. And today's sermon is going to be a very good example of that. This is probably a very long sermon. Warning you right now, one of my longest, at least in many years. I may split it into two parts. We'll see. But today, the subtitle is No One Left Behind. Now, in the military, when they say that, no one left behind, that means somebody's hurt, killed. We don't leave them behind. We go and get them. And, guys in the military, they understand that. It's just something you do out of respect. Respect for your fallen comrade. Is it 100%? No. But it hurts when you don't make it with 100%. I hate leaving someone to be captured. Even if they're dead, you don't want to leave their body behind. It hurts. And in the biker world, a lot of bikers have that attitude of no one left behind. You see a motorcycle stopped alongside the road, you pull over to see if they're all right. Man, that sure don't happen with cars. Car breaks down, 653 cars go by, and that's in the first 5 minutes, and nobody stops. Well, they probably got a cell phone. Probably just somebody need to go to the bathroom. Probably, come on, people. Let's just stop. But anyway, that's no one left behind. But I'm not talking about the cars or the motorcycles or the military today. I'm wondering what would happen if Christians had this no one left behind attitude in everyday life, at church and in everyday life. And I'm going to talk about church first, and then I'm going to go into everyday life. No one left behind means that when somebody shows up at church, and they visit once or twice and then they disappear, we don't just say, oh well, it must not have been for them. We'll go find out. I've done it. Most people say they don't go back to a given church because they didn't feel welcome. And that's in the first 1, 2, 3 visits. You don't feel welcome, then going back. And for most of us, that's the way it is. More on that in a little bit. Our family's been involved in a couple of ministries. They were pretty big, dramatic ministries. In one of them, they would literally have 10,000 people visit. And at the end of the show, they always had a invitation. Do you want to be a Christian? Pray the sinner's prayer. Come down to the altar, somebody will pray with you. Whatever. But they didn't take names and do any follow-up. The more's the pity. Isn't that what we should do? Now later we were involved in a smaller ministry, but still one that reached at least a couple thousand every year. I don't know what their numbers were, 2,000, 3,000. And they did it in small groups. very dramatic program, and they had, it was, let's call it like a haunted house type thing. That type of mentality small groups go through. And it was all drama. And there were a lot of people that made decisions to change their life, whether it was to become a Christian or to renew their zeal for Christ or whatever. And they had everyone that would fill out a card. And then they called them and maybe visited them. But, you know, there were a lot of people that came from too far away. They'd still take the information. They'd still write them a little letter. And then they'd forward their information to a local church. Now, I don't know how often it happened, but all too often, those local churches didn't do any follow-up. I know, because sometimes those people would call our church and say, how come nobody's gotten in touch with me? That's terrible. It's not the way we should be, people. If somebody makes a decision to change their life, then we ought to be there standing with them, helping them and encouraging them. If we had the attitude of no one left behind, that's what we would be doing. Now, many Christians are going to say, but I already have this attitude. Well, based on what I've seen, based on the people that have come to me and expressed their frustrations, new Christians. Now, I know a lot of my friends are uglier than me. Yeah, wearing leather, not exactly welcome. They get the message. I'd say very few Christians live with this attitude of no one left behind. See, what we live with is none of our friends are going to be left behind. None of our family is going to be left behind. In the military, in the biker world, it doesn't matter if you like them or not. No one left behind. No one left behind. Christians, we got to get that through our head. Too many Christians show up at church just to see their friends. And to make sure that pastor and the other leaders see that they're there being nice and spiritual. It's not the way it's supposed to be. To me, it starts with the ushers and greeters. One of my favorite churches in Cheyenne, they have a greeter on outside the door year-round, even in the worst of weather. Now it's in a portico and he's covered and whatever, but it still gets cold. And, you know, some of those greeters, you know, they stick out their big gloved hand to shake your hand as you come. But, you know, some of them, they may put gloves on, but when you walk up, they pull the glove off to shake your hand. Most bikers will do that, period. It's called respect. And it makes people feel warm, even if they don't understand. See, it doesn't matter if the other person understands what you're doing and why you're doing it. If you do the right thing, people respond. How many ushers do you know that are handing out the bulletins as you walk in the door, and they're busy talking to their friend, hey, Bob, you know, that was a nice fishing trip we had last weekend. Good to see you. What do you say we go hunting this year? Yeah, nice to see you. And maybe we go a little higher on the mountain this year. That is not being a good usher. Talk to your friend tomorrow. If you're an usher, you're at church to greet and welcome people, and especially the people you don't know. I don't care if they've been there 25 times in a row. If you don't know them, stop them, talk to them, ask their name. If they say, well, I've already told you 6 times, tell them, you know, tell them something stupid that works for me. I say, well, I'm old and senile. You got to tell me a lot. Or I remember faces real good, but blast it all, I can't remember a name to save my life. Listen, find something to say. But ask them their name. Get to know them. Hey, I know I've seen you so many times and I just can't think of your name right now. Tell me again, please. Oh, Jim. Hey, Jim, so what do you do for a living? Oh, way cool. Hey, you have a good morning. That's all you need to do. You've engaged them. Now try and remember it for next time. All right? But you know what? We're not talking about just ushers here, people. I'm talking about all the Christians. You call yourself a serious Christian? You think you're serious about being a Christian? Then on Sunday morning, if there's somebody at your church that you don't know, you should be shaking their hand. Wave at your friend from a distance, shake their hand. Hi, Pastor. Sorry about that. It's Pastor, I love him. I had to say hi. We went to one of the churches, we moved a lot of times, 26 times in 41 years we've been married. And so I've been to a lot of churches. One of them I'm thinking of had a membership, attendance on Sunday about 300. And I made it a point to shake the hand of everyone I didn't know every Sunday. And I got a lot of people I did know. I didn't get 300 every Sunday, but I bet I came a whole lot closer than most people. People, I'm not preaching what I practicing what I preach. I'm preaching what I practice. I've already done this. I've seen the results. I know what happens. There's a lot of people that like me. Sometimes that amazes me. I'm not always the easiest person to get along with. Why do they like me? Because I invest in their lives. Everyone says, well, Velcro, he talks a lot. Yeah, I do. And you know what? I'll bet you that you have no clue as to how much you've told me while I'm busy yabbering away. Because a lot of my yabbering is to get you to give me a little response. You don't like to talk. Hey, if you like to talk about yourself, I can sit back and go, oh, really? Wow. And then what? Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. But if you don't like to talk, I'll sit there and tell you story after story. And every so often I'll get, so don't you do construction? This story, no, not construction. Oh, you drive a truck. But you're pretty good with construction. And I get information from you, not because I'm super secret detective, but because I'm interested. And people understand that. That's why people like me. I already know this. You know why? Well, I read a book about it. The Bible tells you how to have good relationships with other people. I'll come back to that too. Our family has a multi-generational joke. I heard my father say it. I'm betting his father said it. I know my father's brothers have said it. My cousins have said it. Unfortunately, it's probably true. The joke is that God can't get to the church until we get there to open the doors, and he has to leave when we shut the doors at the end of the day. Our family was the first one there and the last one to leave, and you know what? It wasn't about being seen to do that. Nobody sees the first person there because you're the first person there. Nobody sees the last person to leave because they're all gone. But my father raised me with, my mom and dad would go to a blind couple's house and cook pancakes for them because they love pancakes. Hard to cook pancakes when you're blind, can't tell when they're done. And people, I think we enjoyed it, even the children enjoyed it more than this older couple. My parents gave of themselves. They had a lady that was older than that. No, I was just a kid in grade school. My mom and dad were ancient. I mean, they were almost 30. And this couple that were blind, they had to have been in their 50s. I don't know, from my perspective, they were older than Moses. And then there was this lady that they gave a ride to church to. Oh my goodness. As a kid, I wanted to ask her what it was like to live in the Garden of Eden. She was ancient. She had trouble walking. She didn't do well in the morning, so she went to church Sunday night when she was having a good day. And my dad had to help her to and from her house. And people, my parents got to church, and yeah, they knew the pastors, and they were on staff, unpaid, but they were known people. But you know what? They greeted everyone they could. I saw it all the time. And people liked them. My cousins will tell the same stories about their parents. And you know what? Their kids and my kids are starting to tell the same stories about us. It's a multi-generational joke. I think it's a good thing. Now, being a Christian in church is one thing. I mean, being a Christian outside of church is where the rubber meets the road, people. You know, I think most Christians go to church for the wrong reasons. They go because they feel guilty or because they want to be seen as being holy and spiritual, especially by the church leadership. And maybe they want to get involved in a small group. Ain't that precious? Maybe they want to lead the small group. Wow, you're special. How you treating the visitors? That's what I want to know. How you treating the people that aren't of your social class? Huh? You know, there's a reason why, and it's still true today, there's a reason why they say that Sunday is the most segregated day in America. Oh, sure, there's some white churches that have a black person, or 2 or 3. America's what, 13% black? I don't know many white churches that have 13% black. I don't know many black churches that have 87% white. Okay, you got to throw in the Asians in there and the Hispanics and so forth, whatever. You know, people, there's nothing wrong with holding on to your culture. Here in town, we got a Korean church. We got 2 Korean churches. One, the whole service is Korean. Doesn't make much sense for me to go, but I'm going to go. I've been saying it for a couple of years now, and I'm going to get there. Just for fun. But I've been in most of the black churches, if not all the black churches in town. You know what? I was welcome. I think they do a better job at welcoming people than the traditional white church. Segregating, yep, I am. But see, I'm one of them white folk. And I want my people to do the best job they can. Hey, listen, we're all members of the human race. And I'm using race here. I could have just as easily said bikers and non-bikers. I could have just as easily said cowboys and non-cowboys. I could have just as easily said white-collar workers and blue-collar workers. You think I got a prejudice issue with race? Get lost. Everyone has a problem with people that are different. That's why we have words like foreigner and barbarian and, you know, words like that. That's their derivative. They derive from the words that mean somebody that's different, a stranger. Okay? We need to go out of our way. Take ourselves out of our comfort zone. You want to be a Christian? Take yourself out of your comfort zone. What do you think the disciples felt like when they're in Samaria? Jesus took them out of their comfort zone. Now let's go outside the church walls. When's the last time you invited a total stranger at church to come home for Sunday dinner? Well, we only had a small roast prepared, and you got hot dogs? Throw some hot dogs on the grill. Especially if you got kids and they got kids. Kids love hot dogs. Like hot dogs better than they do roast, most kids. But we only have 4 baked potatoes in the oven. You know how to make mashed potatoes? Serve 2. Throw some french fries in the oven. Boil up some rice. Make some macaroni and cheese. There's another one kids always love. Listen, one time when we had 10 in our house, in our family, I invited a family of 6 over for Sunday dinner, and I didn't tell my wife till we were in the car on the way home. Some ladies say, I get angry. Well, my wife was used to it. We don't do it all the time, but we've done it. And our family motto is, blessed are the flexible, for they shall not be bent out of shape. And what would she do? Well, shoot, with 10 people in the family, Sunday morning, she might throw in a pot roast and a pork roast. And she might plan on having a macaroni salad and a garden salad. And, big tub of mashed potatoes and some biscuits. And we'd put out, those family packs of frozen vegetables. We'd put 2 of those in for one meal. 2 different kinds. Give everyone a choice. Oh, we invited 6 more? Well, I guess I better get a 3rd pack of vegetables. Well, I got potatoes, mashed potatoes. I just double up the macaroni and cheese, and don't have enough roast, but you know what? We can throw some hamburgers and hot dogs on the grill, and everyone liked that. And we had a good old time. We barely knew this family. We got to know them. Don't think you can do that? How about this? You ever go out to eat after church? Invite somebody to come with you, but make it somebody you don't know. Now that's being a Christian, because you're going to pay. Oh, but we don't have that kind of money. Look, for the average American, you go to a place like Denny's. For a Sunday dinner, you're going to spend a little over $10 a person. You got kids there, it tears the average down a little bit. But let's say it's just 2 couples going, that's going to be $40 or $50. Add in a good tip, bless that server, and you're going to be under $60 probably. Now, $60 is a lot of money, I understand that. Let me ask you, if your car payment is $350 a month or $220 a month, $60 is probably not that much money to you. You probably put more than that in your car for gas every month. You learn how to budget your money just a little bit, you can learn how to bless others. It's not that big a deal, people. Put it in perspective. Is $60 going to change your life? No, probably not. I mean, I know poor people that are living on poverty income. They can take a family to McDonald's, not every day, but they can go once a week maybe, spend $25, $30 at McDonald's, and it doesn't change their life. I'm not saying they should, but, for pity's sake, going to McDonald's isn't that expensive. It's not going to change their life to spend $25 at McDonald's. If they save that $25, well, you know what they become? More miserable. You need a little blessing now and then. How about it? How about you're not at church? You're in a restaurant, and oh my goodness, pastor and his wife are sitting just 2 tables down from us. Isn't that great? Waiter, I did not order this. I ordered my baked potato. I ordered a baked potato, and I got mashed potatoes. Now, what are you going to do about it? Well, people, I tell you what they're going to do about it. They're going to take it back and fix it. You don't need to yell at them. Ever been a server in a restaurant? Great restaurants, you get 3 tables or maybe 4. You're working in a Denny's, you might get 6 or 8. And if you got parties come in 5 at the same time, if they put 2 down, they call it double seating. It makes it hard for the server to give good service. You get 4, 5, 6 that all sit down within 10 minutes of each other. It's a nightmare. Cut them some slack. Be a Christian. See, I'm not just talking about, oh, hi, Pat, it's good to see you. Yeah, it was a great sermon today. I don't remember what it was. Do you remember what it was? I don't remember. Great sermon, Pastor. Changed my life. We want to be nice to Pastor. Stupid server. You know what? Again, I'm going to boast here, people, but it ain't about me. It's about what I've learned from other people and from the good book. When I go to a restaurant in Cheyenne, and people that go out to eat with me, they learn this. When I go into a restaurant in Cheyenne, I am a favored customer. I got a pizza joint that they give me free garlic cheese bread the minute I walk in because they know I love it. When he sees me getting out of my car, he puts it in the oven. Yeah. I was shocked last time I went. New server, she charged me for it. I didn't complain. It's all right. It's only a few bucks. And yeah, people, remember, I'm on a fixed income. I draw no salary from the church. Hello. Servers like me because I treat them well. I tip them well. They start at 20% in my book. And usually I go up, not down. If they really have a bad day, I might ask them if they're doing okay, if something's wrong. And, you know, if they don't want to talk, that's fine. I might give them 30% just to see if I can cheer them up. Now, I'm not going to be there to see it, but when I come back, I'll know because of how they'll treat me. And I bust my table. I get the people with me to bust their tables. I don't even have to say anything. People see me start to stack my plate and everything. They start stacking theirs. I pick up the little wrappers and put them on my plate. I start putting the ketchup and mustard and salt and pepper back over against the side. Well, that's the server's job. Yeah, praise God. Isn't that just right? They love it. If they love me being there, you know what happens? I come in and the server says, is there any way I can get your phone number? I really need to talk to somebody. Hello? Throw me in that briar patch, huh? You know, you stop at the gas station, and I'm picking on pastors today because it's church and all that, but you know, it could be your boss, could be a favorite uncle, you know, maybe a school teacher you had when you were young. But you pull up to get gas, and guess who's just pulled up right after or right before you, and they're getting gas too? Maybe it's your 8th grade science teacher, and you think the world of her, and you know, you want to impress her. And so you gas up and she gasses up and you both walk inside to get a coffee or a soda or something. And you make sure and hold the door open for her. And you speak nice to her. And you get up to the cash register and you pay for your beverage, and the clerk says thank you, and you're busy talking to the teacher, and you go out the door, and you've just treated that clerk like a slave. Yeah. You know what you should be doing? When you walk in the door, if they say hi to you, which a lot of the stores tell them to do, say, hi, how you doing? It's good to see you again. I don't remember their name, but I'll find out when I get up there and they have a name badge. If they don't have a name badge, I might say, wow, the store didn't issue you a name? Usually when somebody gets hired, they give them a name, and whatever name badge they have available, they put it on you, and that's your new name. And they laugh. But if they got their name badge on, I get up there and I say, hey, John, how you doing? Yeah, you doing all right? And I try and learn something about them. Yeah. Hey, John, is that your old truck out there? The one that looks like it's got a beat up body, but the interior is really nice? Seems like you've been doing some work on it. Hey, he gonna like that. Oh, that's all simple stuff. You want to get really carried away? Oh, are you ready for the advanced course? Are you sure? You might want to shut this off right now. Because you know how you really get to become friends with somebody? Have breakfast or lunch with them on a regular basis. Invite them over to your house on the evenings or on the weekends. Invite them to go fishing or hunting with you. Sharing a hobby. You know, I got a lot of hobbies I've done over the years. Didn't really like most of them. I was bored one day, so I went to the chess club. Made some friends. Kept going. I like playing chess. They weren't always the easiest people to get along with. Unlike me, of course, I was fine. But we developed friendships. Friendships that still lasted. I haven't been to chess club since 2007 when we started Biker Church and we had a conflict in times. All right? Ladies, you like to crochet? She likes to crochet? Why don't you schedule a regular crocheting time where you can sit and talk while you crochet? Or knit, or a latch hook, or whatever. You can say, hey, you want to go over to Hobby Lobby with me? I'm just going to wander around, buy a few things, and leave. Maybe have lunch on the way there or back. Whatever. Yeah. You got two young couples that both like to do outdoor activities, and you go out camping for a weekend at a lake. Oh my goodness, you're going to become friends or enemies. Am I right or am I right? That's what we do with our friends. We should be doing it with people we want to be our friends. And shouldn't we want to be friends with Christians? Now, when I come to evangelism, I'm going to ask you that. Here's a secret. I'm going to ask you, shouldn't we want to be friends with non-Christians? Oh, so I can hear preachers now. No, you stay away from those people. Hey, question, how are you going to lead them to Christ if you stay away from them? Okay, that's another sermon. Okay, I've gone on for half an hour and all I've said is what Jesus said, real simple, love one another. Paul, in Paul's writings, especially Philippians 2, 1 through 4, he says, you need to put other people first. Now that's love. When I was a boy, there was a song, Jesus and others and you. That's how you spell joy. J-O-Y. Jesus and others and you. I think the modern Christians spell joy as me, myself, and I. Or money, money, money. Money, I need money. Someone comes into your church or into your life and then they disappear without making a sound. That's what I'm talking about. If you don't let that happen, now we're talking about no one left behind. Whether it's your church or your life. Now we're talking about true Christianity. You are loved. Share the love.